Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, Scott Carson, excited to be with you this morning. Today's a great topic to talk about before we dive into the content of this session, of this episode. I had to give a big shout out to all our listeners on iTunes, Stitcher, the podcast. Thank you again so much for listening and sharing. Just absolutely blown away at the number of emails and comments that we get from our listeners. So thank you. Thanks for the positive reviews on iTunes as well. But we are 24 hours away from the start of NoteCamp 5.0. And as you can imagine, it's a bit of a crazy house around here, getting everything finalized, making sure speakers have the correct links, making sure all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of attendees get their right link. We tried to simplify it this year. We'll see how simple can get with everybody. We kind of trimmed down some of the clickable links and the other things like that were kind of cool in the past to make it very simple this year or this NoteCamp around. So really jacked up. We're over the 500 sign up mark for it, and it's just going to be a great next couple of days. But one of the biggest keys that we see on a regular basis is people love coming to NoteCamp because of the networking, right? And one of the things that we do every time we have NoteCamp is we launch a survey. It's an attendee survey. Now, the survey is 30 questions. It asks things like your name, your address, your LinkedIn handle. What is your focus? What's your biggest strength, weakness? What's your top 3 markets? Do you have an IRA? Who's it with? Who have you learned from? What's your biggest goals for the year? Really an in-depth thing. And one of the questions we asked this year around was, do you mail out to your database on a regular basis? Okay. And what's funny is we always see, I've never asked this question before, so I probably shouldn't be surprised by the responses to it. You know what I mean? It's always interesting to see what's going on with everybody. And sometimes it's surprising, sometimes it's not surprising. And we're way too early with the announcement, with the fill up. I think we've only had 58 people fill out the survey so far, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. What is amazing is seeing the stats and stuff. That people aren't doing the simple things to help their business grow, okay? And I'll give an example. We've got literally, for the first time around, over half of those have 60% are repeats, which is great. 85% are focused on first liens, which is no surprise. I'm just kind of going through the numbers here real fast with people here. I'm going through boom. I don't even go with the biggest needs, biggest weakness, empathy, fearlessness, which great. 68% have an IRA. We have a total of 87% are looking to joint venture with somebody, which is great and would be considered maybe. A lot of people have a website, which is great. Oh, come on, computer. It is what it is. But when I get down to the questions I asked, okay, social media is great. Yes, we get a lot of listeners to the Note Closer Show on here. I'm always asked the question, how often do they email out to their database? Okay, that is one of the biggest questions. And what is concerning is that 44% of those surveyed that answer the survey have never sent out an email to their database. 26%, so 1 out of 4 people, send it out once a month. 14% send out twice a month, and 16% send out once a week. That's kind of the focus for that. Now, that's just to their database. Now, I also asked if they reach out to asset managers at banks and stuff like that too. And don't tell me my computer froze up or the SurveyMonkey froze up. But what I'm getting at is it's concerning. That's the number one tool in your guys' real estate business or as entrepreneurs that most people are sloughing off on. And it's the fact that they don't email out to their database. You don't have to be a social media guru. You don't have to be a Facebook expert or a LinkedIn expert. But the biggest tool that most people slack off on is emailing to their database. They don't have an email service provider. And now I'm not talking like Comcast or Roadrunner or Google or Gmail or Yahoo Mail or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. Yes, everybody has an email address. And I'm not talking to send a mass email out through Gmail. That's the worst thing you can do because it's invisible. You can't see who clicks on it. You can't see who opens it. It's not an effective tool. What I'm talking about, thanks, Jennifer. Jennifer posted there. Here's the NoteCamp 5. That's the website. Just notecamp.live as well. Eric says NoteCamp starts this week. Just kidding. Looking forward to it. Yep. Eric Hyde doing a great job marketing. What I'm getting at, though, is having an email service provider like MailChimp or Aweber or even the worst two, Constant Contact or iContact. Those guys hate real estate investors, okay? But having something that you can measure your responses, measure the emails that you send out, measure the open rate, the deliverability rate, that's the best, still the best bang for buck marketing-wise that you can use because for the most part, it's inexpensive. There are some that will give you free so many emails a month if you have up under 2,000 connections. Look, you will have over 2,000 connections really quick if you're any type of real estate. If you connect your LinkedIn connections and are reaching out to asset managers on a regular basis, you'll have over 2,000 connections. The thing is that some people get upset, like, I need to pay to have an email? Yeah, you should. I've seen people literally say that on their profiles, like, I should pay for my email? I'm like, yeah, you should, because for every dollar spent on email marketing, it should result, if you do it or if you use it on a regular basis, it should return roughly a 4,400% ROI on every dollar spent on email marketing. Now, that's not me. That's the AMA, Association of Marketing Professionals, or American Marketing Association is what it is, okay? They talk about how that is still the number one because still people read their email. And yet, yes, we see a transition going to a lot of Facebook messages and text messages. I'm not going to argue with that. But the way Facebook is changing their algorithms, they just kind of shook up the world here about 2 weeks ago with all the messenger bot stuff and kind of putting a pause of that as they figure things out. Now, your email is still the best way to communicate with people. Now, yes, we know emails, people change emails, like it goes to spam. The idea is if you start marketing, and by marketing, sending an email out to your database on a regular basis, you're going to have success. If I had only one tool available to me, being as good as I am, even if they took away my podcast, they took away Facebook Lives, they took away YouTube, it still comes down to email. And you can still do a lot with email and communicating with people, okay? Cody says, simple is as simple does. That's correct. You just have, it's a simple thing. If you don't have to be an expert. I know you all can type out an email. I know you all can spend a little time putting your logo and your header and some links to your LinkedIn profile and things like that. What is concerning is a lot of people just aren't doing the things that they need to do on a monthly basis. And when I see that like 44% of people surveyed, and that's still just a drop in the bucket of the hundreds of people, it's less than 10% total of those that are signed up, is that concerns me. It means that people really, now a lot of people use will use the excuse that they don't know what to say. And I get that. That is, sometimes it's hard to come up with content, but we're talking about an email at least once a month. All right. Once a month, once a week is not hard. Because if you look at your lives as a real estate investor, okay, you have basically 4 weeks in a month. You can come up with something to say 4 times a month. That's only really 52 weeks a year. 2 of those weeks, you're probably going to be on vacation. Merry Christmas is one of those. Happy New Year's is another one. So you've got to come up with 50 pieces of information to provide a good quality content to email database. And yes, some people are like, well, I don't want to spam people. Look, everybody's used to getting emails. If you share what you're doing, and yes, the whole spam rules, I'm afraid I'm going to spam somebody. Well, great. Send out an email. Hey, it was great meeting you at NoteCamp. It was great meeting you at NIS. It was great meeting you at the Note Expo. It was great meeting you at the Meetup Group or the REI Club. Those are simple introductions. You're not spamming them. You're simply saying, hey, I met you here. It was great meeting you. Let's continue the conversation, okay? Let's continue the conversation, okay? It's not that hard to do because if you're going 4 weeks, you've got basically probably deals you're working on or hopefully working on. You're probably going and attending a meetup group or a real estate investment club. You can invite the people out or tell them a little bit about what you're doing. 3rd, do a case study, all right? 4, you can make it a little bit about yourself. The emails that people love are when you share a little bit about your personal life. You share a little bit what's going on in your life. It's almost you share the journey, your trials, your tribulations, the good, the bad, the ugly, the wins, the losses. Those are the things that people really love to see. And it allows people to start seeing you in a different light. Yes, I know many of you are still working. You don't want the boss man to see what you got going on. I get that. I understand that. I can respect that. Doesn't mean you can't remove them from your list. Okay. And that's what's so great about an email service provider, ESP, or like a CRM, like I use Infusionsoft. I have too big a database. I've got, if you have less than 25,000 connections, you should be using MailChimp. It's easy to use. It tracks your link-ins. Plus, they've just added some really cool new features to it for landing pages that you can use straight to Facebook and then also Instagram ads. Very, very easy to use. Plus, you can create Facebook ads straight from MailChimp now. It's a couple of new features they've got. Really great. Now, Infusionsoft, which is what I use, it's more of a customer relationship management. I have people that are tagged differently. They're assigned different tags depending on when they sign up or when they get into our database, and they're getting different email posts depending on what tag they're in and what group they're in. And so the thing to keep in mind, everybody, is that it's okay to share what's going on. If you're not going to send a simple email or simple handshake, electronic handshake, hi, it was great meeting you. What are you focused on? Here's what I do. Let's network. I can't really help you. You're not really going to find any type of success at anything you do getting out. Now, if you think about this, most people, we get bombarded with ads from Starbucks. Where did I go? I bought something from Neiman Marcus at Christmas. I get probably 2 emails a week from them with different discounts on things. I get an email every week, almost every day, from DS News, Default Servicing News, Housing Wire. Those are 2 emails that I read every week. Social Media Today, I get email from them. Those are the things I love to read. Now, don't get me wrong, I get spammed by a lot. I get email notices from meetup.com and all the groups we are, but you can adjust those filters. That's important. People are emailing you whether you like it or not. You might as well be using that same tool to get the word out on what you're trying to do, get the word out in the deals that you're trying to do. And if you're afraid to send an email or aren't sending an email out to your database, you have bigger problems than what I can help you with, because you have to start doing things and taking action. And the easiest thing to do is to send an email out to your database and just tell them, hey, I'm alive. This is what I'm working on. All right. Those are some of the best things that you can do to really drive. Okay. I got some comments here. Julianne Caulfield Ferraro says, MailChimp was the best advice from you. I finally have figured out good templates and lists and unsubscribe people. So when I download my LinkedIn, I'm not stressed about them being added back on. That's a great, awesome to hear that, Julianne. I think Julianne closed on a couple of deals from contacting banks directly. Now, that's the thing, too. If you've got direct sources and you're working full-time, your email, most of your CRMs or your ESPs, email service providers, you can write your emails and then schedule them to go out if you're working a full-time job. If I remember correctly, Julianne's a police officer up in the Chicago area. So she's got a schedule, it's a little bit different. I'm sure she pre-writes your emails. Cody Cox, who earlier commented, does a great job writing his email that goes out Sunday night. He writes it goes out at 7:00 Sunday night. Sunday night's one of the best times to send an email out. Send it out in the middle of the day, it's often not going to be seen. You don't want to wait till Friday to send an email out, because an email sent out after 2:00 on a Friday is not going to get read because people are going to be too busy, headed to happy hours, or getting home for the weekend. Okay? So the things you have to focus on more than anything else, okay, more than anything else in your real estate business is building your database and communicating with them on a daily basis. Weekly basis. Once a week at the least, you should be emailing out your database. People start emailing me, Scott, I've got an email from you this week. Is everything okay? And I have to chuckle a little bit. Like, yeah, everything's okay. Juliana adds more that, yep. I use my odd times to create and plan, or my off times, I think is what she meant to say, instead of odd times. Oops, hang on here. My odd time, I think she meant to say off times. She's probably typing. She's probably at work and watching this on Facebook Live, which is great. But that's what. Thank you for sharing, Julianne. Julianne was on our. We had a Q&A session a few episodes ago. She called in and is doing a great job. Really, really proud of what she's doing out there. Now, One of the things that you got to keep in mind too, that's not going to pull up, is we see even fewer numbers of people emailing out to their banking contacts. All right. One of the biggest things I've discovered early on in my business and career was that I would not be able to talk to everybody on a daily basis, okay, or weekly basis, all the connections we made. So I had to, and you have to do this too, is start putting your contacts into lists, your friends, your LinkedIn connections, the people you meet at events. The more you can niche it down, the more, the better you can communicate. You can talk personally in that list. Now, I have a big general database. I have to be very kind of generic in that database I send out, but inside of that database, I have everybody cut down and tagged appropriately for where they're at. And some people have 40 different tags because they're part of 40 different groups inside my database. That's okay to use. Okay. You just want to communicate on a regular basis. And what's sad is most people, and this honestly really doesn't surprise me. I mean, in the world, most people aren't communicating. Most people aren't doing the things that they need to do to find success. And it's very, very sad. And it aggravates me, but makes me feel very sorry. Because I see all these people that are going to event after event after event and coaching, and they're paying for conferences, they're traveling and doing all these things, but they're failing on the simplicity of doing something that will help their business better than anything else will. And what is that? That's communication. That's communicating with their database on a regular basis. That's talking to their connections. That's talking to their tribe. Because whether you believe it or not, you are the master of your own tribe. And we all have tribes that surround ourselves. If you ever want to read a good book, read Tribes by Seth Godin. All right? It's a phenomenal book, one of my favorites. Seth is one of my top 2 favorite authors. Okay? All of his stuff I try to read. I probably got 12 of his books on my shelf here. Okay? In his book, Tribes, he talks about how everybody is looking for leaders. We're all looking for somebody to help lead us out there. And if you want to do things, you've got to start being a leader, not only in your own life, but in your circle, in your tribe. There's a great line from American President with Michael Douglas. In the true absence of leadership, people will listen to the loudest person. Now, I'm not talking to be the loudest person, but there's a lot of people out there sharing information or just being loud that have no experience, that don't know nearly what you guys know. They don't have the knowledge, the experience, the case studies that you have, or the network that you have, because that's half of probably what I share about is the network that we do, the network we have. Hey, there's an event we go to. Here's where you can go network. Here's an event upcoming. Here's what we learned. Here's a webinar on something that we learned. Okay. It's so important to keep that in mind when communicating. It's not always about you. Sometimes it's just sharing, hey, here's something good. Here's something that I learned. Tell me something good. All right. There's so much negativity out there. People are so busy jumping on Facebook and bashing everything that happens out there. Take the time to share something good. Share a win. Share a success. Hey, I bid on 12 assets. Yay. Here's a map of what we're focused. Here's what we're trying to do. Okay. Yay. Now, some of the easiest things that you guys can do, I mean, it's all about collecting databases. We got a lot of people that I've run into that have podcasts, or they're launching podcasts, or they're trying to drive listeners and downloads, and they just throw it up on something. It's like having a website. The people just throw a website up and they expect for people to find them. Well, those days are long gone. You have to realize that you have to start marketing out in the database. You start collecting people's contact information so you let them know when a new episode, when a new offering comes out, when you have a new deal, a new funding potential. Totally love it. Our good friend Katie Moton has been posting. Eric Hyde, I think, has done the same thing too. Hey, they get on our JV list. Go here to the website and opt in to our JV, our funders list. It's a great way. Those are people that, hey, I want to fund deals. I want to fund your deals. Why would you not want to send an email out to them at least once a week? When you start thinking about why you should be doing this versus, oh, I don't know what to say. What's really sad is when I see people that have their their kids or their family, other family members that are more technically savvy, and they still aren't sending emails out to the database. That drives me bonkers. I get, oh, I got to learn a new software. I got to learn how to do it. Yeah, we got to learn. It's going to take you an hour to send your first email out to your database, but it's going to be the most valuable hour, because if you think about that, every time you send an email out, you're probably going to raise 25, 30, 50 grand. And funny, you're probably going to gain 30 to 50 listeners. I got to give a big shout out to our friends at Selling Sarasota, our podcast out there. Edward Panas is listening there. Hey, good morning, buddy. Love what you're doing with the Instagram posts. Mermaids and Margaritas was one I really enjoyed. I see that he's listening out there. But anyway, as I always say, guys, you got to start communicating with your database. And if you're not communicating, you're choosing not to communicate, you're choosing to be a pawn. You're choosing to be a cow on the way to the slaughter block. Because I guarantee it, if you're not marketing to your database, somebody else is. And wouldn't you rather have them fund your deals versus them fund mine or fund somebody else's deals? The biggest travesty in life is in real estate, is in not sharing what you know. If you had a best friend who was the founder of Google or the founder of Apple, Steve Jobs was your friend, he never told you about what he was launching, and then he became this multi-billionaire, and you never knew, would you be upset? And the answer to that is yes, I would be upset that he didn't offer me the opportunity. He didn't think enough of me to offer me up that opportunity. And that's what you have to keep in mind. It's not begging for money or begging for deals or pay attention to me. It's all about what you can offer them. Let me help you in a form or fashion. And Cody Cox is going to be speaking on Saturday, and let me add a comment here. I will spend some time on his marketing on Saturday at notecamp.live, which is great, awesome stuff. Thanks, Cody. Looking forward to it. Cody will be speaking as his own breakout session for the first time at NoteCamp. Last year, he was on a panel, or 6 months ago, he was on a panel. This time around, he's actually got his own session because he's done a great job while still working full time. So Cody does a great job of that kind of delicate marriage you have to have between wanting to chase your passions and then also still having a full-time job and employment. One of these days, hopefully, we'll get him to be chasing his passion full-time. He's not too far off from there. Awesome stuff there. So just so that you guys know, yes, I am sporting the newest T-shirt for the WCN crew for April. The green WCN crew, hashtag Note Nation across the front. If you're part of the WCN crew, this will be going out in your swag bags in the next week or so. Straight, I mean, literally, I pulled it out of the box 5 minutes before I went live. I was like, it showed up. Let's jump on it and share it a little bit. So one of the cool things, besides some of the other fun stuff, that's going to be in the swag bags for our WCN crew this year. So anyway, guys, use email service providers, use MailChimp, upload your list to it, start sending stuff out on a regular basis. It'll get easier. You'll get better at it. And honestly, the people around you will start looking at you in a different light versus the guy or the gal that does one thing. Okay? Important thing. Eric Hyde asks, do you have the shirt in mesh tank tops? No in mesh tank tops. Sorry, but I didn't want to bring out the gun show and scare everybody off. Okay? The gun show. Did not want to do it. Mm-hmm. All right. Don't want to scare anybody off with the mesh tank tops. Okay? We want to have a little bit of sleeves. Okay? So anyway, guys, please take action. Go do something. That's the way I got to the top. That's the way I started making a name for myself, is people like, I got on your email list. I had that actually literally happening at an event. A guy's like, hey, I'm on your email list. I've never met you before, but I love what you share. I love what you do. I love that you send it. I love reading your emails because they always make me laugh. I love watching your videos. Just be yourself. That's the most important. You don't have to be like me. Don't be like Mike. All right? Go be yourself, and trust me, the more you communicate, the more you share, the faster you'll get to the top. And that's all I've got for today, guys. Go out and make something happen. For those that are going to be joining us the next couple of days on Note Camp, we're excited to have you. And hold on to your seatbelt, hold on to your shoes, because we're going to rock. All right? Awesome stuff, everybody. Good job, Julianne. See you all at the top, everybody. Bye.